But we're going to head over now to the live event of today. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 in McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Prices may vary. It's another busy weekend of live football on the Talksport network. We've got another 9 FA Cup commentaries for you this weekend, with Burton Albion and West Ham currently underway over on Talksport. Later here on Talksport 2, we're going to bring you Man City against Salford City in the FA Cup as the side 6th in League 2 take the short trip to the Premier League title contenders. But right now we're heading to the Lamex to see whether Huddersfield can continue their excellent start under Liam Manning as they travel to Stevenage in League 1 with your commentators. Former Crystal Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose is alongside the brilliant Ollie Klink.
Max, thanks very much indeed. Will that Liam Manning revival continue today? The new Huddersfield boss is yet to face defeat in the league since taking the reins, as the Terriers look to try and crack on towards promotion and consolidate themselves in the playoff places. They're up against an out of sorts Stevenage, but a Stevenage who are very difficult to beat on their own patch. Only league leaders Cardiff have come away with a victory here. What can Liam Manning and his Huddersfield side bring to the table here this afternoon? Welcome to the Lamex. We're treated to bright sunshine and blue skies, and I tell you what, you'd never think that Stevenage had a game called off for a waterlogged pitch on Tuesday. Props to the groundsman and his team. The Lamex looking fuller than usual. There's a big contingent away to our right-hand side of Huddersfield fans who've made the early morning trip down from Yorkshire. It's one of the bigger fixtures for Stevenage in League 1. Huddersfield, formerly of the Premier League, one of the big boys in the division, and a side hoping to make their way back to the Championship. The teams are out, they've done their huddles. We are ready for kick-off here. And Darren Ambrose, it is that home record for Stevenage that I think makes this game so enticing, because for Huddersfield to consolidate themselves in that playoff place, they need to be winning this type of game.
Yeah, they do. And if you look from someone who's not used to watching teams in League 1, and you'd think 1 win in 11, you'd think, oh, it's an easy, comfortable win for Huddersfield. But as you've rightly said, the home form has been fantastic, albeit one win, 4 draws in the last 5 matches. I think they'll be looking ahead to thinking we can catch Huddersfield if we can turn some of these draws into victories.
Well, the referee is Neil Hare, his assistant Stephen Finch, and Joseph Larkin, the 4th official Aji Ajibola today. And in terms of kit, Stevenage in their traditional home strip, white shirts with red trim, with red shorts and white socks. Huddersfield in their away kit, all dark green with gold trim. I'll run you through the teams in just a moment as we get ready for kickoff. It will be Stevenage to get us underway. Dan Phillips does so. League 1 football live on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, as the race for the playoffs continues. Stevenage 7 points behind, sitting 11th. Huddersfield in 5th. Plenty to play for this afternoon. Long throw from Stevenage early on. Marcus Harness picks it up midway through his own half for Huddersfield Town, the former Ipswich man, as it's moved out to the right-hand side, and Sorensen back in the starting lineup today in the right wing-back position over the halfway line, and it's cleared away, and Huddersfield will have a throw on the halfway line, which will be taken over on that far side. Harness, of course, at Ipswich Town, who you keep a close eye on, Darren Ambrose, recently.
Yes, I think it's a good move for Marcus Harness to be here. I think he done well at Ipswich as well, but just outgrew each other, and I think he wants to revive his career. Didn't get much playing time at Ipswich towards the end, and I think he's a shrewd signing for Huddersfield.
A minute gone here on Talksport 2. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0, as the ball is launched forward, and as it's cleared away there by the centre-back for Stevenage, it's allowed Harness to pick up the ball and try and move towards the area. He shepherded out of play well, though, and it will be a Stevenage ball midway through their own half. You think in terms of the start here too, Darren, Stevenage, a side that are happy to soak up pressure. They're happy to not have too much possession of the ball, but you feel that Huddersfield will need to try and take charge early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I said earlier, we're speaking to a few of the supporters. They said exactly the same. They know what they are, and the team know what they are. They know that Huddersfield are probably going to dominate possession. Can they hit them on the counter-attack? Can they frustrate them? Can they nullify what they're about? Quiet the away support, which is a fantastic away support with travelling supporters, by the way, to our right. And that's what they'll be looking to do.
Free kick to Stevenage. A nice tussle early on between Dion Charles and Lewis Freestone, the Stevenage centre-back. Freestone came out on top that time around. Ball headed away, but only as far as Phillips for Stevenage, who picks up the ball now on the right-hand touchline inside the Huddersfield half. Dan Phillips, certainly a man who doesn't skip gym time or leg day, it seems, by the way. Unit of a man. Charlie Good, the Stevenage centre-back, throwing it back to his
How have they
partner
found shorts
Sweeney.
to fit his legs, by the way?
Oh, my word. Must be quadruple XL. And that's a compliment, by the way. Here is Phillips, Dan Phillips. The other Phillips, Matt, making his debut today, 34 years of age. Former QPR and West Brom. Number 10 seems to be in that more advanced role today, Darren. And it's been an issue for Stevenage, goal scoring. Do you think he can bring a bit of a threat just with all that experience he has?
I think that's what they've brought him in for. I think that's what he needs to do. We was umming and ahhing, weren't we, whether he was going to play the number 10 role or the centre forward role, which he seems to have gone alongside Reid for Stevenage. And yes, of course, they need goals. They need more goals to win more matches, and that's what he's brought here for.
Well, Phillips wins a header as he tries to surge towards the Huddersfield box, but it's well dealt with in the end, and then launched upfield towards Dion Charles, where that will go all the way through to the Stevenage goalkeeper Marshall. It was Bulka who tried to play that long ball towards the striker. Dion Charles, I was chatting to a few Huddersfield fans who say he's a decent player, but maybe not a number 9 that can lead that line too well, and it's going to be tricky today against some of those Stevenage centre-backs. Here is Dan Phillips inside the Huddersfield half. Wide right on this near side, right in front of our commentary position. And Phillips picks it up once more. He's seen a lot of the ball so far. Not quite made any inroads in terms of putting pressure on the Huddersfield back line. Ball now fizzed long. Now Phillips, his first real touch of the ball. And he gets wide down the right-hand side of Murray Wallace, who just uses all of that experience to shepherd the ball out of play, and it'll be a Huddersfield goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, done really, really well. Murray Wallace there. He was looking, Matty Phillips, to just get to the byline, get a cross in. But I did look into the box when he was doing that. It was only Reid in the box. I think they need to change that. Stevenage need to get more players in the box, especially when he gets the ball, because he will create things.
Ex-Millwall and Scunthorpe, Murray Wallace back for a second spell at Huddersfield. Plenty of know-how for the 33-year-old. As Stevenage pick it up once more. Lewis Freestone with a header into the centre of the park. It was slightly aimless, and it could be picked up on now. Ball is moved wide to the left to Mumbo, who tries to flash it across goal. And it's stuck behind the cross, and we'll have a stoppage because there is a player down. It's McGuane in the centre of the park for Huddersfield, but a half chance there. The first time we've really seen Huddersfield get forward.
Yeah, it was good play actually, and then McGuane, I think he took one in the private parts maybe, I think, as he was playing the ball, and Mumbu got down the left-hand side. It's good delivery into the box, and Dion Charles does what you want forwards to do, trying to get inside the full-back. Defended really well in the end, and he just managed to get there first and put it over the bar.
Well, we will wait for Marcus McGuane to receive essential treatment. If that has been the problem, the medical staff are on with him now. How do you feel that Liam Manning will have looked at this first 6 minutes for his Huddersfield side, Darren?
I think they, there was a moment, wasn't there? Bulka played a long delivery forward to Dion Charles, and I just think it's the wrong kind of delivery to play to. As you said, talking to Huddersfield fans, it's not really a number 9 that's going to lead that like that. And it's too much. He wants it into his feet. He wants to back into the defenders and bring other people into play. So I think he'll think it's a reasonable start. There's not been much happening, is there, in terms of goalmouth action? But they need to keep Matty Phillips and Reid quiet, I think, up front.
so much live football on the way for you on the Talksport network. Over on Talksport right now, 20 minutes in the FA Cup 4th round. It is Burton 0, West Ham 0. Elsewhere in League 2, Barnet 0, Cheltenham 0. And in League 1, Reading 0, Wickham 0 as the other 12:30 kickoff. Stevenage restart play once more with a goal kick, and they're deep inside the Huddersfield half now, but that's another aimless ball forward by Charlie Good, and it will be another Huddersfield free kick. Lee Nichols back in goal today after missing the Virtue Trophy exit to Doncaster in the week. And technically Liam Manning's still yet to lose, but it was on penalty kicks that Huddersfield exited that competition. As we've mentioned, it has been a good start for him, winning 3 of his first 4 in the League 2. Now Murray Wallace at the back for Huddersfield Town. Both sides yet to settle, you feel, really here. Long ball towards Dion Charles, which is put out of play by Charlie Good.
Again, it's real difficult, that ball from Ledson this time forward. There's no one really close to Dion Charles. Marcus Harner's probably the closest, but about 15-20 yards away, and it's difficult that those kind of passes when you're up front on your own.
Well, Huddersfield have a throw midway through the Stevenage half, but it is McGuane who is down once again. You have to feel for him a bit, because he went down early in their game against Blackpool recently too. He has a pat on the shoulder from his teammate Josh Feeney. It's got to be so frustrating for Marcus McGuane.
Yeah,
it's that left leg, isn't it, that they're looking at?
They're testing. I've had these tests before. They're testing his hip, so his glute, his groin, testing all that. So I'd be very surprised if he sees out this next 5 minutes, never mind the match.
I think it's always an issue, isn't it, when a player goes down once again so soon after they've had a bit of treatment. So we'll see what
someone ready.
See what happens
Cam
there.
Humphreys ready from the bench, I think.
It does look as if he will be replaced, as Darren says, by Cameron Humphreys. What a shame for Marcus McGuane, who has come off the field of play, and Cameron Humphreys will take his place. So an early change here for Huddersfield Town. 9 minutes gone, it's still Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 in League 1. You're listening to Talksport 2. I'm Ollie Klink. I'm alongside Darren Ambrose this afternoon. I mentioned plenty of live football on the way following us. Manchester City will take on Salford in the FA Cup 4th round, class of 92, going to the Etihad. That one is with Ian Danter and Perry Groves. Later on Talksport, it's Aston Villa against Newcastle with Joe Shannon and Scott Minto. And Liverpool against Brighton is your offering at 8 o'clock on Talksport. We're back underway. Stevenage have won a throw. They're deep inside their own half. Be interesting to see now how Huddersfield set up with Humphreys coming onto the field, because we know, Darren, he does like to play a bit further forward, but he might have to sit in that role that McGuane was playing in the centre of the park.
Yeah, it seems as though he has gone a little bit further forward, whether they're changing their shape to a certain degree. Kasumu looks to have got a bit deeper.
Ball play forward for Matt Phillips, who can burst into the box. This is a chance for Stevenage, and he tries to tuck it past the keeper. That's a brilliant save from Lee Nichols. It was Matt Phillips, played in, stormed onto the ball, outpaced the defender, had a shot at goal with his left foot, but Nichols did really well to keep the scores level.
It's good play all round there, Ollie. Matty Phillips took the pass really well into his stride, had one more touch past Feeney, I think it was, hit a lovely low strike with his left foot, but equalled to it was Nichols in the Stevenage goal, in the Huddersfield goal, sorry. It was a really good save.
So early chance for the home side, certainly the best chance of the game so far. Huddersfield now look to come forward with Sorensen, but that ball's too heavy and goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. It was lovely link-up play that as well, wasn't it, with Jamie Reid and Matt Phillips. And it's funny, Matt Phillips just through the door here at Stevenage. It's probably the first game time they've had together at all, and yet it looked like they've been playing together for years.
Yeah,
with the way that he fed
really good link-up play, and it's been a good battle at the moment, Phillips and Wallace. And it was Wallace actually that he touched it past brilliantly, brilliant touch past him. Yeah, Nichols was equal to it with a fantastic save.
Out quickly was Nichols, who's in front of the Huddersfield fans in the Austin stand here at the Lamex. Blue skies, bright sunshine.
Still freezing.
You've got a nice coat on, though. Now, Charlie Good, the centre-back, the long throw specialist for Stevenage, is lining up a throw, equal with the 18-yard box line. The box is packed. Good launches one into the box. It's headed away by Murray Wallace and will be sent back forward, this time by Early, who was at the back there, but that one comes to nothing. Stevenage fans unhappy with what looked like a foul in the centre of the park, but the referee Neil Hare says play on, and Charlie Good can pick it up under a bit of pressure from Cameron Humphreys, who's come on early and plays it back to his goalkeeper. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0, live on Talksport 2, as Jamie Reid comes forward once again for Stevenage, who have arguably made the better start here, especially in an attacking sense. Now Sorensen, he's under a bit of pressure, and that was Saxon Early winning the ball inside the box. Stevenage still alive here. Early once again on the left-hand side, down at the byline. Has he won himself a corner? He lets it go out of play. He has.
I think he's made a wrong decision there, Early. I think he should have just hit the shot. He's cut inside, he's won the ball back, he's on his right foot, tried to backheel it to the on-running, overlapping White. I think maybe a shot would have been a better option.
Well, 10 of Stevenage's last 28 goals have been from set pieces. It's a route they like to take. They do have themselves a corner over on the left-hand side. Well, can you believe that? The referee has just gone over to the ball in the quadrant and moved it 10 centimetres to the right?
If that, maybe 2 centimetres. And then
Harvey White's moved it back.
He's moved it exactly.
Brilliant stuff. It's now in the right position and we can have the corner, which is an outswinger. It was aimed towards Good, headed away once again and headed back towards Jamie Reid at the back stick, but Huddersfield do well to deal with that, and then they win a free kick on the edge of their own box and will be able to clear their lines. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. We're a quarter of an hour through this one. By the way, Talksport Breakfast back this Monday morning with Jeff Stelling and the former Rangers striker Ali McCoyston. As it is FA Cup weekend, they'll be joined by Rob Smethurst, the Macclesfield owner, ahead of their clash with Brentford on Monday night.
He's back from Ibiza, is he?
Who did they beat in the last round?
Crystal Palace.
That was it.
Yeah.
You played for them, didn't you?
A few times.
So
well, so we wouldn't have lost to Macclesfield.
Well, Macclesfield with another tie against Premier League opposition Brentford. We're going well on Monday night. That will be live on Talksport. Ball headed forward this time by Freeston. It's been a lot of head tennis in the centre of the park so far, as it's hoisted forward towards Jamie Reid. Now Dion Charles wide on the right-hand side, tried to play it back towards Humphreys, but it was well intercepted. And you just feel so far, Darren, that when it comes to Charles, he hasn't quite been able to hold the ball up in the way that Huddersfield might want to.
Yeah, as we said before, it's really difficult. He's playing against the three big centre-halves, Freestone, Sweeney and Good at the moment. So when you're on your own and you have to occupy all three, it's quite difficult. The balls need to be perfectly placed into him, because if, like we just seen there, a high ball, they're going to head those clear all day long.
Now at the back for Huddersfield, hoisted forward over the halfway line. And there's a mistake there at the back, which is picked up on, and Huddersfield can surge forward to the edge of the box. Here's Marcus Harness, played to the halfway line. Now Ballymumba onto his right foot inside the box, but he flashes that one wide. He tried to aim for that bottom left-hand corner. Ballymumba did well to cut in onto his right foot, but that was always going wide. 0-0.
Yeah, that was probably the best chance that they've had, Huddersfield, in this half so far, and it would come from a mistake from Good, from Stevenage. Just miscontrolled the ball, allowed Dion Charles to get it. Marcus Harness with a lovely run and a great through ball. He's turned, he's cut it back to Mumbo, and it was a good strike, but maybe he should have gone across the goal as opposed to the near post like he tried there.
Ball played back by Lewis Freeston, the Stevenage centre-back, to his goalkeeper. Now turns and looks ahead of himself onto Saxon Early, the left-back for Stevenage. And now across to Charlie Good on this right-hand side, chalking his boots, fizzes it forward towards Matt Phillips, and now James Wilding, the right back, plays it on to Phillips inside the box, but the offside flag is up and Huddersfield will have a free kick.
He just went a little bit early, didn't he, right in front of the linesman in front of us. Maybe a yard offside, but you can see the threat that Matty Phillips possesses. I think him and Reid up front for Stevenage have really combined in this opening, 17, 18 minutes that we've seen here.
18 minutes gone, Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 on Talksport 2. I'm Ollie Klink alongside the former Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose. Ball launched long by Lee Nichols, and then there was an infringement there, so Huddersfield will win a free kick midway through the Stevenage half. Could be a chance here, couldn't it, to maybe pump one into the box and cause a bit of trouble.
Yeah, got to get the delivery right. Marcus Harness looks like he's setting up to take it. Just got one knee in the back, Marcus Harness, from the long goal kick.
Harness with his straight back hair in a ponytail, standing over this one. Plenty of Huddersfield bodies forward. So will he swing this one towards the back post? Huddersfield, other than that chance for Ballymumba, not really threatening so far. It is Harness. Floats it wide, well wide, over everyone's head and out for a throw into Stevenage.
So disappointing that, isn't it? Just said you've got to get the delivery right. Sometimes you can see when the delivery's wrong what they were actually planning, but I can't even see what they were planning there. He's, 30 yards from goal at an angle, and he's drilled it for a throw-in over the far side. Poor option. Which
Lewis Freestone will take. It's nodded forward by Saxon Early, wide on that left-hand side. And the ball was played forward towards Matt Phillips, but he couldn't take it under his spell. That's good work, though, from the Stevenage right-back, James Wilding, and he almost found a ball through there for Jamie Reid, but it was well cut out in the end by Ballymumba. Causing a few problems, though, on this right-hand side, Stevenage. Now Jamie Reid on the right-hand side, level with the line of the 18-yard box. Now has to turn back on himself, well defended there. And it is back with Lewis Freeston, the Stevenage centre-back on the halfway line. Chip forward, looking for James Wilding. Again, he has the beating of Ballymumba, but that one will trickle behind for a Huddersfield goal kick. 0-0.
Yeah, just overhit that, Sweeney. Bit of a hopeful delivery, actually. James Wilding in front of us. Stevenage captain trying to get on it. Mumba followed him the whole way, so it was good defending.
Elsewhere, Reading have taken the lead against Wickham. So Reading 1, Wickham 0 in League 1 in the other 12:30 kick-off. In League 2, Barnet 0, Cheltenham 0. And over on Talksport in the FA Cup fourth round, it is still Burton 0, West Ham United 0. That one half an hour in after a 12:15 kick-off. We're 20 minutes in here at the Lamex. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 in League 1 on Talksport 2. As Stevenage try and make some headway down the left-hand side, but that one is out for a throw. It may well be an offside call, actually.
Yeah, I think as Matty Phillips just come from an offside position into the onside position. Official in front of us see that, and I think Reid and Matty Phillips have actually swapped positions at the moment, both still playing up front. Matty Phillips was on the right, now it's Reid on the right, so may have seen something, maybe the battle between Wallace and Matty Phillips they didn't like.
Here's Ballymumba for Huddersfield Town. On the left, just inside the Stevenage half. Marcus Harness plays it back to David Kasumu, who wins a foul in the centre of the park. He was brought to the ground there by Daniel Phillips, who I think most people would bounce off. And Huddersfield will have a free kick, centre of the park, which Harness takes short. Can they make some inroads, Huddersfield Town? It's a ball now played to Harness. He's inside the box. He's got Ballymumba for support. It's a good first touch from Mumba, but it is cleared. But that touch, Darren, as he entered the box, might have got him in a good position to cross.
Yeah, just over-touched it, didn't he? I mean, it was good play for Marcus Harness. See the overlap from Ballymumba. Played the run and just got his touch a tiny bit wrong. Otherwise, he could have been in a dangerous position.
Huddersfield having a nice spell of possession. Here's David Kasumu for them, back in the starting lineup today. And then Ryan Ledson, centre of the park, gives it away. And that was quite a hefty challenge. 50-50, and it is a yellow card for Ryan Ledson. Just a bit late there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was one of those, he just got his touch, over-touched it, and then as White come through, he slid to make amends for his mistake and just connected with him. He's fine. White, he's up. It did look a sore one.
So, 22 minutes gone. Stevenage have a free kick inside their own half, which will be taken by the goalkeeper, Marshall. Best chance so far, coming for the home side. Matt Phillips on his debut. Played through, but forced a really good save out of Lee Nichols. And now they come forward once again. Here's Dan Phillips, who's away from a couple of challenges. Into the box, onto his left foot, and past a couple of challenges, but the move breaks down. Tried to play it across goal, but there was no one there. And actually, might have been better minded to have a shot there, Darren.
Yeah, we got a great angle of it here, didn't we? Powered his way through 3 challenges, and he was just at an angle, probably 12 yards out. Better option would have been just put your foot through it. Across goal, you can get a tap in, you get a rebound. Cut inside on his left, tried to play the ball across. No one was there.
Well, Saxon Early will have a long throw for Stevenage, deep inside the Huddersfield half. It's headed away pretty easily. It didn't reach that far for a long throw, has to be said. Ball pumped towards Matt Phillips, who then flicks it on, looking for his strike partner, Jamie Reid. And there will be another free kick here. That was another very strong challenge on Houghton this time. One of those that just causes a bit of a gasp from the crowd.
Yeah, it was the high boot, wasn't it, Marcus Harness? He wasn't aware Houghton was there. There's no malicious intent there, but as the ball came, instead of heading it, he put his foot to control it, and Houghton dived down with his head. Looked a sore one, but again, Houghton is up on his feet. But there's a free kick in a dangerous position.
Very dangerous. Yellow card for Marcus Harness, who did try and protest with the referee. I'm not sure what he's got to argue about. Like you say, no intent really there, but clumsy.
I think he's complaining. He said Houghton ducks down to head it, where he didn't. We've got a great view of it. He didn't. He jumped up to head it.
So, a free kick about 25, 30 yards from goal. Pretty much in the centre. Harvey White is the man who has put the ball down and looks set to take this. Dan Phillips also there, but he's trudging away now. This looks like it will be White's ball. So, chance for Stevenage. 5 men in the wall. It is Harvey White. Left-footed, goes for goal. Tries to curl it towards the bottom right-hand corner, and it ends up wide of goal. Lee Nichols never really in trouble there.
No, not the greatest free kick from White. He tried to give it the eyes to the goalkeeper, pretend he's going over the wall and reverse it. Caused no damage whatsoever to Nichols in the goal.
Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 on Talksport 2. The home side arguably with the better of it so far, as Nichols pumps one long. Huddersfield yet really to create a clear-cut chance. We've seen Ballymumba put one wide as the ball's hoisted out of play and out of the stadium. The low roofs here at the Lamex. So Huddersfield have a throw over on the far side as we see it, attacking from right to left. It's picked up by David Kasumu and then hoisted high into the air. Kasumu heads it forward once again, but can't find a teammate. And eventually the ball's played wide to Ballymumba on the halfway line. Finds Harness, who can look to take on his man down the left-hand side. He does so. Turns back on himself. Finds Mumba onto his right foot. Swings across into the box, which is punched clear by Marshall in the Stevenage goal. But finally Huddersfield making a few inroads, asking a few questions. Now it's Sorensen down that right-hand side. He tries to dig out across, and it will be out for a Huddersfield corner over on the far side. Yeah,
first real pressure that they're putting on the Stevenage back line and the goalkeeper. Good delivery, Mumba into the box. Dion Charles trying to head it. Marshall with a great punch, winning himself a corner.
It was active goalkeeping there from Marshall. He was aware of the danger, but it will be Marcus Harness to take this corner over on the right-hand side. 0-0. The Huddersfield players in a love train, fittingly on Valentine's Day. As the ball is swung in by Harness, it was attacked by Humphreys, who tried to head it back in towards a teammate, but cleared once more by Stevenage. But Huddersfield have earned themselves another free kick. Groans from the home support.
I'm not sure about that. Cam Humphreys tried to turn with the ball. Matty Phillips may have put an arm round him, but he ended up running clear. But referee was right there. Good position for him.
Well, it's a similar position, this free kick, to the one we saw Marcus Harness float out for a throw-in. If you're a Huddersfield fan, you'll be pleased to hear that Cameron Humphreys is standing over this one, which he will take left-footed. Plenty of Huddersfield bodies still forward. Marcus Harness tries a dummy run. It is swung in towards those Huddersfield heads, but easily cleared away in the end, and will be a throw right in front of the dugouts. Liam Manning standing by his player Cameron Humphreys, who had to come on early in this game. Marcus McGuane making way very early on with an injury. Very frustrating for him. But Huddersfield in 5th position in the league at the moment, but held so far here in Hertfordshire. Murray Wallace will take this throw for the away side. Played back by Mumba, and then straight out of play by Murray Wallace.
It's funny because his initial reaction, he looked down at the turf as if there was a bobble, but it was a throw-in that was headed back and he was on the volley. So there would have been no bobble whatsoever there, Murray Wallace.
These footballers, they'll blame anything, Darren. Long throw launched forward by Charlie Good, and on to Jamie Reid, who's had some nice touches in this game, but maybe would want to be a bit more involved. Here's his strike partner, Matty Phillips, who gives it away to Mumba, and now Sorensen can surge forward, and that's a really good tackle. Really good tackle by Early. Out for a Huddersfield throw, and that just stopped any chance of Sorensen coming forward for Huddersfield on the counter-attack.
Yeah, brilliant tackle from Early. Slide in last ditch. If you got that wrong, it's a yellow card for sure. But yeah, it was a well-timed challenge to stop Sorensen getting forward.
Long throw, this time looking for Dion Charles, who's in a tussle there with Sweeney at the back, which Sweeney wins. Very physical. Was able to just brush off Dion Charles and play it forward towards Matt Phillips, who turns once again. Looked like a free kick there, but the referee said nothing doing. Maybe was trying to play a bit of advantage there for Stevenage, but nothing really came. Here's Houghton for them inside his own half as they look to come forward once more. Charlie Good, the centre-back, has to turn back on himself and find Sweeney. Out to Lewis Freeston. And now Saxon Early. Both sides very well organised, very well set up. It's been difficult for either of them to break the line so far, other than that one chance we've seen for Matt Phillips. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 in League One on Talksport 2. Good, away from the challenge of Harness, but then it just got too far ahead of him, and David Kasumu can pick it up for Huddersfield Town. Can he keep the ball in play? He can't on that left-hand side. So another throw for Stevenage. 11th in the table, 7 points off the playoffs. An amazing start for them this season. They were top of the table last time these two sides met. In fact, it was only Huddersfield who had beaten them in those first 10 games of the season. Has dropped off since then, just 3 wins in 19. Ball hoisted forward for Huddersfield Town by Ryan Ledson. Tell you what, Ryan Ledson scored a brilliant goal the other day against Luton. I don't know if you saw it, Darren, from the halfway line.
Yes, I did. It was fantastic. What also is fantastic, by the way, is Murray Wallace. He's the ball magnet. Heads absolutely everything. Even when he shouldn't, he gets there.
All that experience coming into play for Murray Wallace. And it does feel, doesn't it, like a Huddersfield side that should be pushing for promotion.
Yeah, it does. It's been a real difficult game for both teams, though. You said it, you called it just then. Real defensive display from both, and the defenders are certainly winning. Only that one chance for Matty Phillips. And Murray Wallace, at the moment, probably the standout for Huddersfield.
Well, Ballymumba tried to receive a 1-2 there, but pushed to the floor by James Wilding. The referee deciding that it was just a shoulder barge and play can continue. Long ball hoisted forward towards Jamie Reid in that Stevenage front line, but Wallace clears up and produces his own clearance downfield. Ballymumba now picks it up right in front of the managers on the touchline, on the halfway line. And the ball once more forward towards Reid from Charlie Good, but they've not really been too accurate. We know that Stevenage like to go direct, but it hasn't quite paid off yet. Too easy for the Huddersfield backline to deal with. There's a long ball forward of their own, looking for Dion Charles, and he does get the better of Sweeney this time. Wide on the right-hand side, support arriving in the shape of Marcus Harness inside the box, but the cross hits the first man, and it will be a Huddersfield throw deep inside the Stevenage half.
Yeah, much better pass. Cameron Humphreys, I think you called it, a lot of them are overhit, hopeful punts upfield. This one was measured, picked out his man.
Just over half an hour gone here at the Lamex. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. You're with Ollie Clink and Darren Ambrose on Talksport 2. And the throw was taken short, crossed into the box, came to nothing, straight into the keeper's arms. So Stevenage can pump one long once again. Looking for the debutant Matt Phillips. Headed away by the ball magnet Murray Wallace. He has dealt with everything so far, hasn't he? Charlie Good, the centre-back for Stevenage, will take a throw then midway through the Huddersfield half. In a cagey opening half an hour or so here. Marcus Harness trying to win it on the edge of his own box, but Dan Phillips did well to get in ahead of him. Goes backwards though. And now Lewis Freestone has it right on the centre circle. Ball played back to Freestone on the halfway line. And now Houghton can look to turn and float one out wide towards James Wilding. Collects it nicely. It was a good touch, but then his second gave it away to Ballymumba, doing his defensive duties in the left wing back position, and does well to clear his lines too.
Yeah, good defending. Ballymumba has done really well actually, right in front of us. Been impressed.
He's had to deal with the Stevenage captain James Wilding getting forward, bustling forward, and he has dealt with him well so far with the aid of Murray Wallace. Ball thrown long, and guess who headed it? Murray Wallace won himself a free kick, which is taken quickly by Feeney. And now an early ball played to Sorensen in that right wing back position on the halfway line for Huddersfield Town. 0-0. We've got 10 minutes until the break. Remember, following us here, FA Cup 4th round action on Talksport 2. Manchester City against Salford City. Over on Talksport, Adrian Durham will be taking you round the grounds, all of the action from the FA Cup. Always a brilliant weekend. Both these sides will have fantastic memories, especially Stevenage a couple of years ago, going to Villa Park and winning 2-1. Jamie Reid scoring the equaliser that day. In action here this afternoon. They also beat Newcastle back in 2011. We don't have to talk about that one. Here's Murray Wallace lifting one forward towards Dion Charles on the corner of the penalty area. But once again dealt with too easily, and Dan Phillips can hoist one upfield, looking for the run of Jamie Reid, who's just putting the pressure on the centre-backs, and Lee Nichols had to come and deal with that, the goalkeeper. There was just a sense there, wasn't there, as it was headed back to the goalkeeper by Bulker, that Reid was causing a bit of trouble.
There was a split second where the Bulker didn't want to head it back and thought Nichols was coming. Bit of confusion. They got there in the end though.
He was lucky that Nichols was that alert, I think. Gobbled up the ground and managed to take the ball. And that's what a striker should be doing, putting the pressure on. Here's Freeston at the back for Stevenage. We've actually seen most of the ball, you would say, in this game so far. Ball over the top by Harvey White, looking for the run of Saxon Early, which is out for another corner for Stevenage, which Harvey White will trot over to take. I wonder if he'll put it in the quadrant this time.
You know who's heading it if it comes into the box.
So another attacking opportunity, this time for Stevenage. be desperate to fix some of their form in the league. It's been a decent start to the game for them so far. Harvey White, arms in the air, lifts the ball, an outswinging corner into the box. Freestone tried to attack it. It's then hoisted clear once again by Huddersfield Town. And all the way back to the Stevenage goalkeeper, who David Kasumu will pursue. James Wildin still up in that right wing back position, tries to win a header in the air. There was claims of handball, and then that's definitely a tug on the shirt of Dan Phillips from Marcus Harness, and will be a free kick for Stevenage.
Asking the question, Dan Phillips. Marcus Harness already been booked, been a harsh second yellow card, but
it would have been harsh, but letter of the law, Darren.
Yeah,
if you tug the shirt,
attack as well by the tug of the shirt.
It was funny. I think Harness put his finger to his lips there to say, "Shh, don't tell him." Good luck with that if he's an opposition player. A couple of yellow cards for Huddersfield in this first half. Ledson and Harness both in the book. Harvey White with a free kick for Stevenage then towards the back post, but headed once again away. And Harvey White can have a second bite of the cherry, this time from the central position in the centre circle. And Dan Sweeney still up there, wins the header, looking for Jamie Reid, but it will trickle into the arms of Lee Nichols. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0.
Both teams need to do a little bit more, I think, in the attacking sense. As I said about 10 minutes ago, solid defensive displays from both teams. Can't really break each other down at the moment.
Here's Josh Feeney inside his own box, playing it out from the back, which we haven't seen too much of in this game, it has to be said. Been much more direct from both sides so far. Now Saxon Early in his black boots loses the ball though, and Marcus Harness can come forward for Huddersfield. Plenty of bodies around him, and James Wildin seemed like he did well to win the ball there, but it will be a free kick to Huddersfield. Was that enough for a free kick, Darren?
It did seem like he did enough to win the ball.
It was a physical challenge, but it looked like a coming together for me.
Yeah, it did. You'd have to say Neil Hare, the referee, was in the right position once again within 5-10 yards of play. He deemed that as enough to be a free kick, and again, similar to the Stevenage one, a really dangerous position. Looks like Cameron Humphreys is setting up to take it.
It could be a good chance, this, for the away side. Cameron Humphreys, the only man over the ball, putting it in position. Looks as if he will take it left-footed. Marcus Harness has joined that two-man committee, but backs away. Stevenage with a four-man wall. Plenty of room to the left-hand side of goal. Philip Marshall across. So Cameron Humphreys standing over this. Harness also there. It is Humphreys, left-footed, into the wall. Comes out to Harness on the edge of the box. He spins away from his man. Plays it to Mumba. Still alive here for Huddersfield Town. Now Harness once again, but shepherded towards that touchline, which Mumba just about keeps in play. The Stevenage bench not happy with that, but Mumba then played towards the byline, still in play. And there's a chance for Dion Charles, but he flashes the shot wide and high over the bar. It was a tight angle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was good play, Ballymumba. He got onto the pass, I think it was Kasumu, overhit it to a certain degree, and instead of putting one into the box, he's cut it back to Dion Charles, and yeah, it was a tight angle, and he's just overhit the shot, went high and wide.
A rare attack from Huddersfield Town. Dion Charles blazing it high and wide was never going to be an issue for Marshall. Only Mumba has had their other shot in this game. Been a game of few chances so far. On Talksport 2. Live League One action. There's the header in the centre of the park by Ryan Ledson, which Dan Sweeney then comes forward to nod forward for Stevenage. Picked up though on the right hand side by Sorensen, who you'd think would have been brought in, Darren, for his attacking play. Likes to get forward. We've not seen too much of him on that right hand side.
Yeah, he's been nullified to a certain degree by Early over the other side, who's getting forward really well for Stevenage, and it's not allowing Sorensen to break the lines. He has to track him back. So, but say it's been a good whole, be it 0-0. It's been a good half of football. More defensive displays than attacking wise. No real goalmouth action.
Here's Bolker wide on that right hand side, took the throw short and then got it back. Dan Phillips now bustling forward for Stevenage. and played it to Saxon early, who lost the ball, and Huddersfield have a throw on the halfway line. You've got Ballymumba over on this left-hand side calling for it. Looked like he was in acres of space. The ball hasn't travelled to him, though. It's with Murray Wallace in his orange boots. On to Marcus Harness, who tried to flick it past Charlie Good. But once again, some physical strength from the centre-back. And then as he tried to take the throw quickly, Darren, Marcus Harness got in the way. There was a bit of a shove. Harness needs to be careful here.
He does.
He's on a yellow card.
He's getting frustrated, isn't he? Tried to take it round Good. And Good was a bit too strong for him. He got the ump, and as you said, he blocked him from taking the quick throw in. And that will be noted for Neil Hare, the referee.
Well, Liam Manning has spoken about wanting better discipline. There were 2 red cards in his first 2 games against Luton and Bradford. And that happened right in front of the manager as well. So might be a bit of a talking to Marcus Harness at half-time. Long ball from Dan Sweeney onto James Wilden, the right wing-back. And that will go all the way through for a goal kick. The efforts of Murray Wallace, applauded by the Huddersfield fans, away to our right-hand side here. Early start for them, of course, with a 12:30 kick-off. Coming down from Yorkshire, and they've come in good numbers so far. Not too much for them to get noisy about, and there's a foul over on this near side from Dan Sweeney, who will find himself in the book after bringing Dion Charles down.
See, that's what they need to do more of. Putting it to Dion Charles' feet, which is what he done there. Then he done a lovely little turn, pushed it down the line past Sweeney, and Sweeney, only thing he could do was bring him down. Rightfully, yellow card.
Do you feel a bit for Charles in his lack of service?
It's
really
difficult.
So far?
It's difficult. He's had to pick that up really white on the wing as well. As Chris said, when you've got 3 big centre halves, when there's long, hopeful punts upfield, they're just going to head them away all day long.
So halfway between the centre circle and the 18-yard box, Cameron Sweeney swings one in from the left-hand side. It's flicked on at the near post, but over to the left-hand side now. Marcus Harness picks it up, 35 yards from goal, to the right of the penalty area. He tries to float across towards the back post, headed back across goal by Feeney, who was still up for that free kick. But once again, Stevenage get it clear. And then I think Lewis Freestone was going to let the ball trickle through to the goalkeeper, and then realised Dion Charles was behind him. It's now over on the right-hand side with Kasumu. This is better from Huddersfield, putting more pressure on.
It is. Final few minutes of the first half, putting a little bit of sustained pressure on at the moment.
Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 on Talksport 2. That's the voice of Darren Ambrose, former Palace midfielder, as it's worked out to this left-hand side, and Ballymumba inside the Stevenage half. Back to Murray Wallace on the halfway line. And now Feeney can look out to the right-hand side, and Sorensen, who's in the side for Lyndon Gooch this afternoon from their last league game. Gooch on the bench, both sides with strong benches, as Ryan Ledson tries to nod one forward to a teammate, once again cut out by those dominating Stevenage centre-backs. And Harvey White goes down in the centre of the park, but referee says play on, and Huddersfield can come forward once more, this time with Sorensen. Onto Humphreys, the substitute. He swings one in from the right-hand side, and Good didn't know too much about it. Huddersfield tried to work it on the left-hand side. It's given away far too easily, and Jamie Reid can hold it up on the halfway line for Stevenage. Reid picks it up once more. Shout to go on Reedy from the home support, but the ball trickling out of play as he intercepted it. And then a foul from White on Kasumu, and it will be a free kick to Huddersfield. We're into the first of 3 added on, by the way, in this first half. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. Now Bulker for Huddersfield Town on the halfway line. Strong end to this first half for the away side, but not creating enough chances so far in this game. Marcus Harness gives it away. Dan Phillips strong in the tackle, and then that's a real tussle between Harness and Phillips. Been a good battle all afternoon that so far. Now James Wilden, who gives it away on the halfway line as he tried to chase the ball. It's played long towards Dion Charles. He's got a battle on with Dan Sweeney, and it will go out for a goal kick into the final minute of the first half. I mentioned there, Darren, both sides with strong benches, and just to make a few inroads, you'd expect both managers to maybe think about a change. Maybe not at half-time, but as we make our way through the second half.
It's that age-old thing, isn't it, that get 10, 15 minutes after half-time to try and create something, try and get your team on top, and if not, we'll look to the bench to make some changes. And I think the way this game is at the moment, I think that's going to be the case. Probably going to be won or lost from the bench.
Ali Mumba gives it away. Here's Harvey White in the final moments of this first half. Matt Phillips tried to pick it up, but then the ball was nicked off him and he was sent tumbling to the floor. Now hoisted forward once again by White, headed away by Murray Wallace, and then Harness with a volley forward, and Dion Charles is after this. Dan Sweeney does well though to just nod it back to his goalkeeper. You can see what Harness is trying to do there. Put any element of pressure on that back line. Well, there is the half-time whistle at the Lamex. Nothing to separate these two so far. The best chance coming for Stevenage and their debutant Matt Phillips. He was played through inside the box by Jamie Reid. Looked for all the world as if the net was going to bulge, but he was denied by a good save by Lee Nichols, who did really well to come out of his goal quickly. Huddersfield haven't shown too much in attack. We've seen a shot from Bally Mumba. Dion Charles has put one high and wide from a tight angle, but they maybe need to do some more in that second half. Honours even here so far at half-time at the Lamex in League One on Talksport 2. It's Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0.
Brilliant stuff, Ollie. Thank you very much. Huddersfield might well be in the playoffs. Liam Manning might well be unbeaten in the league since he joined the Terriers. But for my money, Darren Ambrose, it's Stevenage with, yes, just one win in 11. But they've looked the most likely, haven't they? I mean, Lee Nichols for Huddersfield's made a great save in that first 10 minutes or so. Matt Phillips could have got that debut goal.
Yes, what he's been brought in to do is score goals. And this time, Lee Nichols, as you said, was equal to the chance. It was good link-up play, actually, Reid and Matty Phillips, and it was a great take. Probably the one and only time he's managed to get past Murray Wallace in the centre-back role for Huddersfield, but it was a good save from Nichols. But in terms of goal mouth action, I can only really remember that. A couple of free kicks that are taken. It's been a real solid defensive display from both teams, and I think that's probably something that if you're Alex Ravel, you'll want to change. You can't keep playing these long, hopeful punts upfield to the two centre-halves, the centre-forwards, Reid and Phillips, because Murray Wallace is loving. He's winning every single header. He's winning every challenge. They need to come up with a different game plan if you're Stevenage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we spoke before the game, Darren, about how if Stevenage are going to want to sort of really push on to the playoffs, they need to start converting some of these draws at home into victories. And I look at sort of Matt Phillips and Jamie Reid linking up. For me, they're linking up quite well for the Borough. I think you're right about those long balls. There needs to be a little bit less of that because they're least successful. But I think if you're Ravel, you're looking at that sort of partnership up top, and there's some positive signs there.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying in terms of the long balls upfield that just getting eaten up, particularly, as we said, by Murray Wallace. You look at the best chance of the game. It was on the floor. It was when Reid got the ball to the floor, played a lovely through ball to Matty Phillips, who took it round Wallace at his feet in terms of passed him on the floor and hit the shot. And I think that's something Alex Ravel will need to look at and say, let's put it to their feet. Yeah. Let's try and interchange, get players in and around. And I think Dan Phillips is looking strong. He's looking a bit of a beast in the midfield. If he can get forward and White can get forward to support them, then I think they'll have more joy that way other than the long crossfield or long punts upfield from the centre halves.
In terms of Huddersfield, do you think Liam Manning will be a little bit concerned that it seemed to take him 20-25 minutes to really get up and running, and the momentum began to shift, but they've not really created anything dangerous, and as I say, that slow start might be a bit concerning for Manning?
Yeah, I think very, very similar in terms of the Stevenage game plan. There was a chance early on. It weren't really a chance. Balker played the ball upfield. It was a long, hopeful one. look, when you got Dion Charles on his own up front against Freestone, Sweeney and Good, all big centre halves that love the battle, love the long balls to come and head it, you're not going to get much joy. We had a moment just before half time where they played it into Dion Charles' feet. Yes, albeit it was on the wing. He managed to turn Good, push it down the line, got the free kick. Good ended up getting the yellow card. That's what you need to do more of. I think it'll be a little concern, Liam Manning, with Marcus Harness. I think he's getting involved a little bit too much. Picked up his yellow card. Wasn't no intent in the high boot. But if he continues to get involved, you don't want to pick up a silly second yellow card and have the red card, especially not here, because, Stevenage are looking okay.
Yeah, I think Liam Manning will be having a quiet word with Marcus Harness. He's spoken about discipline issues in recent games, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes out in the second half. Darren, I'll let you go and enjoy a little second half beverage with Ollie Klink. Great stuff. Remember, you can use the Talksport app to swipe between stations over on Talksport. The second half between Burton Albion and West Ham is kicking off. It's goalless there. You're listening, though, to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. Prices may vary. Second half commentary coming up next, and we'll look ahead to our huge 3 p.m. FA Cup fourth round game, Manchester City against Salford.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is Talksport 2.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Hey Sainsbury's, have you got anything to help my money go further?
Well, if you want to make some big savings, make sure to use Nectar Prices and your Nectar Prices at Sainsbury's. Together, they can save you over £450 a year on your food shop.
Bring it on.
Download the Nectar app and tap into great savings. Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us. 18 plus Nectar app required. For full terms, see help.sainsburys.co.uk/help/Nectar prices.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for tonight's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Fly into flip-flop mode. There's still time to get up to £500 off package holidays in EasyJet's Big Orange Sale. Or get flights from £28 one way. EasyJet. Get out there. Selected dates and flights, limited availability. Holiday sale ends 3rd of March. Min, spend and ATOL protected. T's and C's apply.
Claim approved. Direct Line's ready to send my new laptop within 2 hours.
That's how it's done. Imagine if everything was that easy.
Like teaching little Johnny to play his recorder.
Oh my. Oh, he's a musical genius.
Direct Line. That's how it's done.
Theft and accidental loss claims up to £3,000. Cover limits apply. Personal possessions cover needed for items outside the home.
To whoever finds this letter, my car broke down. There is nothing nearby. And I've already eaten my meal deal sandwich. Please tell my wife that I love her and that she was right. This jacket isn't waterproof. Signed, Daniel S. Oh, actually, scrap that. Green flags just arrived. Blimey, less than an hour.
Local rescue, nationwide. Nothing beats near. Green flag.
On average, we get to breakdowns in under an hour based on app and phone call-outs combined. See greenflag.uk/data.
Hello, Mike's Mechanics. How can we help?
Can you tell me what's wrong with my car? It's making a noise.
Right, and is that when you brake or accelerate?
So when I brake, it's more of a... and when I accelerate, it's more of a... If you get me?
Right.
Customers can be hard work. Switching your bank account won't be. We'll automatically move your regular payments over when you switch with the current account switch service.
Club card accepted.
Feel the power to lower prices with Tesco Club Card. Get a Cadbury milk tray, now £5, down from £10. Helping you share the love this Valentine's Day. Tesco, every little helps. Majority of larger stores, milk tray 445 grams, ends 14th of February. Club Card or app required.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Join the Football Collective.
The cool, clinical finish.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Cross towards Haaland, falls for Semenyo, and he pokes it in. Might come back to Reinders, who slams it in 7 yards out.
I'll be honest with you, chaps, I was watching the game last night and I turned it off for half time. I thought this was actually pointless.
They feed it short, beautiful goal. Nico O'Reilly, a goal that started 6 yards out from the Manchester City goal.
We have to do our job. That's why in tight competitions in this decade, because we have been there, always we behave really, really good and cannot be an exception.
Now it's with Cisse, the substitute, turning on the edge of the area, playing inside to the penalty spot, going for the return ball, and Cisse makes it 3. That is an absolutely delightful move from Salford City.
We're looking forward to it. We're under no illusions how hard it's going to be, but we've still got to enjoy it at the same time.
This is EFL Game Day Live here on Talksport 2. Before we head back to the Lamex for the second half between Stevenage and Huddersfield, let's head to the Etihad and speak to our commentary team for our exclusive 3 p.m. offering in the 4th round of the FA Cup. It's Manchester City against Salford City. Good afternoon, Ian Danter and former Leeds manager Neil Redfern. How are we, lads?
Very good, thank you.
Good stuff. I mean, Neil, let me start with you. Salford, last time they faced Manchester City, lost 8-0. And they're facing a City who seemed to me, particularly after that last 10 minutes at Anfield, as a side reborn under Pep Guardiola, with the likes of Semenyo in there and sort of the powerhouses of players that they've got. For Salford, Neil, is this just as simple as sort of damage limitation?
Well, the old adage before the game, innit, is go out and enjoy it, lads. But, you know, when you're playing up against a side that has got so much quality, obviously going to have a lot of possession, going to create a lot of chances, going to need a massive slice of luck to go with actually playing out your skin. You know, it's a totally different sort of football that these people play at the top level. And it's about being patient for Salford. It's about being disciplined and taking your chances if you get a chance, you know, and I think that's what they've got to try and do, stay in the game.
Absolutely. Dance, I mean, I'm looking at the record of Salford against Premier League sides. I think in the last 3 FA Cup games against top flight sides, they've lost by an aggregate of 15-0. And I'm just intrigued, do you think there's maybe an added pressure about the links between Salford and the class of 92 and being surrounded by all of these legends? Do you think when they come up against these big sides and it becomes a bit of a media narrative, can Salford do one over their sort of Manchester rivals? Do you think that adds the pressure?
A little. It probably did last year because it had never happened before until 13 months ago. So I think a lot of that narrative has probably just evaporated a little bit, so it's not quite as prevalent. I think the thing that Carl Robinson will want to avoid this year is the aftermath of what happened last year. Because after the 8-0 here in January in the 3rd round, Salford's league form tailed off really badly. Now, sometimes you can actually grow and benefit from playing aside from higher up the tiers, but it seemed that the Salford team withered a little bit and it sort of knocked their confidence and they dropped out of contention for promotion. So he won't want that to happen again. That said, there's only likely a couple of players who were here last year who will be here this, such is the nature of lower league football, Max, and the fact that players are only on 1-year contracts and loans and things like that, and squads change much more quickly than they do at Premier League level.
Neil, is there anything that you can learn? I mean, Dance has sort of laid it out there, the form after the 8-0 loss. A year on, is there much sort of learnings you can take from losing so heavily to a side that is so much better than you?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the experience itself, you know, it's a surreal experience. I can remember getting promoted to the Premier League with Barnsley, and I think we took about 4 or 5 massive wallopings. You know, Chelsea done us 7, Manchester United done us 7. You know, and as a professional footballer, you're proud people. You know, it's embarrassing. You don't want to get beat by that margin. And I think what you do is you sort of you try and learn to contain as much as you can. You know, that their ability to get in and around your box. Once they get past that build phase and they've got through your midfield third and they're in and around your penalty box, you know you're in danger. But you I think they'll learn from that a little bit. I think Kyle Robinson's, a top man. He's done a great job this season. They're well in with a chance of getting promoted through the playoffs. So I don't see why not they can come, to the Etihad and put on a good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. We cannot wait for that one. It's Talksport 2's exclusive commentary in the FA Cup 4th round. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Neil. We'll be speaking to you a little bit later on, but the teams are heading back out at the Lamex. It's currently 0-0 Stevenage, Huddersfield. A lot of action to come. We're going to hand straight back to our commentary team. Former Crystal Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose and Ollie Klink.
Max, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, goalless here so far. Stevenage with that fantastic home record. They've only lost once here and holding Huddersfield at the moment. It will be Huddersfield who get us back underway. No changes for either side at half-time. And Stevenage with the best chance of the game so far for Matt Phillips. Darren Ambrose alongside me here at the Lamex. Huddersfield just need to do a bit more, I think, Darren.
Yeah, I think both teams in an attacking sense need to do more. We spoke about that at half-time. It's been a very good, solid defensive displays from both teams. They just need to start creating a little bit more, and by doing that, I think both teams need to play more on the floor than those long, hopeful punts that we're going to see now.
Marcus Harness gets us back underway then. Murray Wallace firing one upfield immediately for Huddersfield Town, and then the ball hoisted onto the roof of the stadium. Let me run you through the team. Stevenage in their home strip of white shirts with red trim and red shorts and white socks. They line up with Marshall in goal, Good, Sweeney and Freestone at the back. James Wildin and Early as the wing-backs with White and Houghton in the centre of the park. Dan Phillips in behind Matty Phillips and Jamie Reid up top. And for Huddersfield in their green away strip with gold trim, Nichols in goal, Bulker, Feeney and Wallace in a back three, with Sorensen and Mumba as the wing-backs, Ledson and Humphreys in the centre of the park. Humphreys coming on for McGuane right at the start of this game, who went off with an injury, and then Marcus Harness and Kasumu in behind Dion Charles up top. That's a good flick on by Dan Phillips, looking for his namesake Matty on his debut today, but couldn't bring it under his spell, and now Humphreys brings it away for Huddersfield. There's a man down though, so play has been stopped. And I think that looks like it might be Josh Feeney, the Huddersfield.
No, it's Bulker, yeah.
Bulker down in the 18-yard box for Huddersfield, and the medical team coming on now. It might have been as he challenged for the ball. So he will receive some treatment.
It seemed a very innocuous one. When he was challenging, he then backtracked and ended up falling onto the floor. He looks in a bit of trouble, to be honest. And was it Neil Hare straight away was calling the medical staff on?
Yep, so he is receiving some treatment right now. And yeah, it did look like a bit of a concerning one. It's always a bit concerning, isn't it, Darren, when play continues but the referee stops it dead to make sure that a player receives treatment. So we will wait for him to receive that. I'll remind you, by the way, of the live football across the Talksport network this weekend. It is FA Cup 4th round weekend, always an exciting time in the season. Adrian Durham will take you round the grounds from 2:15 with Game Day Live. All the goals as they go in from the FA Cup and the EFL. Plenty of 3 o'clock kickoffs across League 1 and League 2 and the National League. Manchester City against Salford is live here on Talksport 2. Kickoff at 3 o'clock in the FA Cup 4th round. You heard it from Ian Danter and Neil Redfern at half-time. And 5:45 on Talksport, Aston Villa against Newcastle. Joe Shannon and Scott Minto, the former Chelsea defender and FA Cup winner, will be at Villa Park. That's a tasty one.
It's probably the pick of the 4th round ties, to be honest. There's not really anything, is there, that's like mouth-watering, but that one's probably the pick. You might be nervous being a Newcastle supporter.
Oh yeah, no Bruno Guimaraes for 7 weeks, Darren. That is a bit worrying.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for himself as well.
Bulker's still down receiving treatment, by the way. You're not missing any action at the moment.
Looks to be something on his face, a facial injury. So maybe he was caught by a flailing arm of Matty Phillips as he was making the challenge.
Well, he is back on his feet now and making his way off the field. Yeah, just touching his cheek there, isn't he? No replacement lined up, so it looks like he will be okay to continue for Huddersfield Town. Neil Hare, the referee, has the ball in his hands. He's going to drop this one for Ryan Ledson, the Huddersfield midfielder. And now they get us back underway. Sorensen picks it up and it's straight out for a throw. Good pressure there from Jamie Reid, the Stevenage striker. So Bulker just waiting to enter the fray once more. Means a slow start to this second half. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0, live on Talksport 2. You're with Ollie Klink alongside Darren Ambrose. As Sweeney picks it up at the back for Stevenage. Now James Wildin, who made a bit of a nuisance of himself as the right wing back for Stevenage in the first half, linked up well with the likes of Matty Phillips and Danny Phillips as Stevenage look to come forward. But it's been a game of few chances so far. Now Lewis Freeston again going direct, finding Matt Phillips. Difficult ball to bring under his spell, and Sorensen can flick it forward for Huddersfield Town over the halfway line, and then Huddersfield earn themselves a free kick. Saxon Early just jogging back into position.
It's not even spoken to him. It's a poor challenge from Freestone as Cameron Humphreys is about to head it. It's come right through the back of him, elbowed him in the back of the head. Freestone gets up, jogs off. Official does nothing.
That's the voice of Darren Ambrose ranting about the referee, not for the first time, as the ball is played forward towards Dion Charles, who's struggled for service so far, the Huddersfield striker. Here's Bulker, though, back up on his feet, but loses the ball midway through the Stevenage half, which gives them a chance to launch one long up the field.
I mean, we can see right in front of us, Ollie, can't we, what I was saying about Dion Charles. The centre halves, Freestone, Bulker and Feeney, are so much bigger. Sweeney and Good, sorry, so much bigger than him.
It's a real challenge for him, isn't it?
So to play those long, hopeful punts upfield is so difficult for him as a player to try and get anything out of it.
Huddersfield do have one of their January signings, Bobby Wales, on the bench, who may well be an option, but slightly short in that department at the moment. Here's Matty Phillips, the new signing for Stevenage. Tries to get the better of Sorensen on that left-hand side, but Charles back in a defensive position can curl the ball away for Huddersfield Town. It's made its way all the way back to Marshall on the edge of his own box, the Stevenage keeper.
Ooh, there he is.
And there's Murray Wallace with another header away. How many is that now? Are you counting? Might need to get the abacus out.
I'd have lost count already, I tell you.
7 minutes gone in this second half on Talksport 2 in League One. Both these sides trying to push for promotion. Might be a taller task for Stevenage, given that they are 7 points behind at the moment. And form needs to pick up if they're to pull that off. Huddersfield, though, 5th at the start of the day in the League One table. And after 3 points to try and consolidate that position. Picked up, though, by Matt Phillips for Stevenage. Does well to get away from Wallace down the right-hand side. To the byline, crosses right-footed, but Wallace did well to block that one, and it's out for a throw in an attacking position deep inside the Stevenage half, the Huddersfield half, rather, which will be taken by Charlie Good, the centre-back.
He had to come in early, that delivery from Matty Phillips. You see, Dan Phillips was in there, White was getting in there, obviously Reid was in there, needs to come in early. He just delayed it, allowed Murray Wallace to get back.
So Charlie Good is ushering with his hand. He's all the way back, almost in the front row of the stands as he launches the ball towards that front post. A Huddersfield head gets there first, but it's back out to Good. Can he re-deliver? He's got Phillips out to the right-hand side. It is Good, curling cross, in swinging, and it could drop here for Stevenage, but this time another foul inside the box, and Sorensen wins the free kick, and it will be a chance for Huddersfield to clear.
It's It's difficult in this opening 8 minutes, 9 minutes of this second half to see where a goal's going to come from, to be honest. They look devoid of ideas, both sides, in an attacking sense. I think they've had a little bit more joy, Stevenage, playing to feet of Matty Phillips, to feet of Reed as well. But nothing really attacking-wise coming from Huddersfield at all.
A few clouds in the sky over the Lamex at the start of this second half. Stevenage had their game called off on Tuesday due to a waterlogged pitch. It was so bad, apparently, that the ball wasn't even bouncing in either box. You wouldn't have thought that at all today. The surface has looked decent given that situation. As Good tries to launch one upfield, it only goes as far as Kasumu, and now Marcus Harness. Can Huddersfield create something here? Wide out to the left-hand side, and Mumba. He crosses left-footed. It deflects into the air. Good heads it away. Only as far as Mumba again, who nods one down to Harness inside the box. And now a ball curled towards the back post, and Sorensen. And that one should go out for a throw into Huddersfield, who are deep inside the Stevenage half, in front of their own fans who have raised the volume, finally seeing their side on the attack. Now Bulker, does well, drifts past Matty Phillips, but then ran into the wall that is Dan Sweeney. And Stevenage pump one long, looking for the striker Jamie Reid. Now a touch out the sky from Dion Charles, but it would have been a good touch, to be fair, but couldn't bring it down. It's out for a Stevenage throw.
That's what you get when you don't get much service, don't get much touches of the ball. You just a little fraction off it, and it was just there. As you said, it would have been a nice touch, just got it a bit wrong. You know what, I want the commentator curse to work. I think this is going to end 0-0.
Well, let's hope you are wrong, Darren Ambrose. You usually are.
Let's hope so.
Love having you along, of course, for all of the coverage on the Talksport network. Here's James Wilden, the right back for Stevenage. Launch long, and
I've never seen anything like this, by the way. Murray Wallace must have had 100 headers in this match so far.
He has done really well. But maybe, Darren, it is a sign that Stevenage are potentially taking the wrong route.
100%. I said this at half-time to Max. They need to put it to feet, because the opportunities they're getting is to feet when they can burst past him. Anything in and around his head, he is not losing.
So Charlie Good once again with the ball in an attacking position for the throw-in. Launched in and then looped up into the air, and Ballymumba can volley one clear. Only as far as Good again on the right-hand side. That's a better cross into the box, and the goalkeeper missed it as he came to punch. But it goes behind for a goal kick. That was a chance there. Marshall flapped at that one a bit there, Darren, but ends up over the bar.
Yeah, it was good delivery. I think it was Sweeney, getting on the end of it. And he got there first before Marshall. Just couldn't quite guide his header in. But it was a good delivery. I think it was Good to his other centre-half partner.
That was a better cross there. So, ball pumped long, and Sweeney heads it forward for Stevenage in the centre-back position. Plenty of head tennis so far at the Lamex today. Stevenage making it difficult for Huddersfield Town, as Josh Feeney under some pressure there from Dan Phillips, plays it back to his goalkeeper Nichols, and now it's picked up again on the halfway line by David Kasumu. On to Ballymumba, who's looked bright on the left-hand side, albeit hasn't made too many inroads, hasn't created too much.
He's an attacking threat, isn't he, Ballymumba?
Had an effort in the first half, probably the best effort that Huddersfield have had in the game. Here's Matty Phillips up the other end, driving one at goal, and Lee Nichols equal to it. Just collected on the edge of the box there.
Does the chance come from... It's at his feet. It's not in the air, it's at his feet. He's got the opportunity to dribble. And I've never seen this. You can explain. I've never seen this since this ball was out.
Well, Lee Nichols, who had the ball in his hands following that chance, held on to it for more than 8 seconds, and that means that the referee Neil Hare has given Stevenage a corner. Rare that you see that, especially with that law coming in for this season. But can Stevenage take advantage here? Wasteful, really, from Nichols. Puts his own side under pressure. Harvey White will take this corner. It's on the left-hand side. Arm raised in the air. It's an out-swinging ball. And headed clear once more. The centre-backs are up there to attack it. Put back in, this time by Early. Murray Wallace heads it away. Still not clear, though, for Huddersfield. And there could be a chance for James Wilden, who plays it back across goal. There was White with the strike. Huddersfield still not clearing their lines here. But it's taken away this time.
Brilliant.
And out for a goal kick. That's good defending, but Huddersfield there putting themselves under some pressure.
Yeah, it's and it all come from that mistake, didn't it? From Nichols creating the corner, holding on for more than 8 seconds. There's good defensive responsibilities there from Cameron Humphreys in the end. There was a lot of panic going on in the box, and he just dribbled it across the touchline down the far side from us and won his team a goal kick just to take the pressure off.
Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0 on Talksport 2. Almost an hour gone. You're with Ollie Clink alongside Darren Ambrose. Game a few chances here so far in League One. In the other 12:30 kick-off in this division, it's Reading 2, Wycombe 1. And in League 2, Barnet 0, Cheltenham 0. In the FA Cup, 20 minutes to go on Talksport. Burton 0, West Ham 0. Could there be a shock on the cards? West Ham making plenty of changes in that game. Now Marcus Harness, who got away from Dan Phillips, and frustrated there with the referee. Dan Phillips picks up a yellow card. Cynical challenge had to be made, I think, because Huddersfield were coming forward in numbers.
Yeah, it was inches away from towing the ball away from Marcus Harness. He knew it straight away, and see him right now, they're high-fiving each other. He's apologising. He knew he just mistimed it. But again, it was good play. Cameron Humphreys, a lovely touch around the corner to Marcus Harness that got them on the initial break. Yeah, and Dan Phillips, as you said, had to make that challenge, really.
So Huddersfield have a free kick pretty much midway through the Stevenage half, just to the right of centre, which Humphreys is standing over. There's a line of Huddersfield heads who will attack this ball. It's a Stevenage head that gets to it first, and then it's cleared long and away by Harvey White. All the way back to Cameron Humphreys, who took the initial kick, who laid it back to Lee Nichols, who awkwardly had to half volley the ball back up the field. Did so well. Now Humphreys nods one on to Dion Charles, and now Humphreys tries to look for Sorensen. He tried to play the ball inside the fullback and into the area, but it was a poor pass in the end, and very easy really for Early to deal with. Now James Wilden in the right wing back position for Stevenage. Another direct ball that goes all the way through to Murray Wallace, and then Nichols pumps long once more. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. You're listening to League One here on Talksport 2. Harness flicking one forward on the halfway line. Once again, that sturdy Stevenage backline able to deal with it. Huddersfield haven't been creative enough in this game. Neither have Stevenage, really. Harvey White now looking forward, but the ball ricochets back to Houghton, and now Charlie Goode can stride forward from centre-back into the Huddersfield half, onto Dan Phillips, who was probably one of the more influential players in the first half. Haven't seen too much of him so far in the second. An hour gone here at the Lamex, so roughly 28 minutes or so for either of these sides to nudge themselves in front. And with the lack of chances, if you do score one, it may end up being the winner. James Wilden now deep inside the Huddersfield half on the right wing. Back to Houghton, who tries to lift one into the area, and there's a header at goal. Goalkeeper fails to deal with it, and then luckily Huddersfield managed to boot it away. It looked like Jamie Reid, who was trying to steal in there to put one in the back of the net. There is a Huddersfield man down. It looks like it is Reid, right on the goal line actually. But once again, not convincing goalkeeping from Nichols there, Darren Ambrose.
No, it was the initial header from, I think it was Early. It was a great header. and it bounced. It was spinning as the ball come in. It was spinning away from the goalkeeper. It wasn't heading towards, and there was Reid ready to tap it in. I think he's been clattered by the goalkeeper.
It was a strong challenge, wasn't it? Of course, he's got to go for the ball, especially when Nichols hasn't been convincing in that regard. I think Nichols there, Darren, was very lucky that the ball landed at the feet of one of his defenders.
Yeah, he certainly was. He's there now talking to the referee, Nichols, about probably that incident. Nothing was given. They're all smiling and laughing while Reid is in the goal receiving treatment.
Well, a chance as well for the managers to maybe get some messages on board. And Jamie Reid is back on his feet now, which is...
Maybe have a shot, the message should be. Get a couple of shots in, boys.
And Jamie Reid looking to end a 9-game goal drought. He is their top scorer with 9 goals this season.
I'll say, if I'm Dion Charles, I'm screaming at my teammates. He's getting very difficult service to deal with. And I've been watching him closely the last 5-10 minutes. Doesn't say a word really to any of them. I'd be fuming that that's all I'm getting, these high hopeful balls against these monsters of centre halves.
He's looked frustrated, Darren, but mainly with himself.
Yeah.
Rather than his teammates. Maybe it does take him to go up to a couple of them and say, look, I need this ball to feet.
Yeah, play it to feet.
Making runs in behind.
The rest of you get in and around me. Let's try and do what they're trying to do, actually, Stephen. They're trying to change their game plan to a certain extent. Although every time it does go upfield high, there's that man Murray Wallace heading it clear.
So 25 minutes to go. And Jamie Reid has had to leave the field as a result of that problem he picked up during that chance. So Harry Cornett comes on for him, the former Luton Town man. And we'll see how he links up with... I was about to say Matt Phillips, but he's also making way. So a double change for Stevenage. Jordan Roberts coming on in his place. So a change for the top two. The two up top for Stevenage, and Huddersfield make a change of their own too. Marcus Harness making way. He was on a yellow card too. And on in his place, Mikel Miller. So both managers deciding to make changes then. Seems as if one was in force, Jamie Reid unable to continue.
Yeah, that was a hefty challenge, wasn't it, from Nichols in the goal. He looked comfortably enough when he was walking off. Maybe it was a tactical change in the end.
We're back underway. It was a drop ball which Sweeney launched forward. Phillips wins the header in the air there, midway through the Huddersfield half. Stevenage over on the right-hand side. And then the ball cannons off Ballymumba and out for a throw-in for Stevenage. But it will be interesting, won't it, to see how Harry Cornick and Roberts get on for Stevenage. Another long throw for them, this time looping into the box from Good. Murray Wallace heads it away.
It's actually making me laugh, this.
He has been a rock.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. It's even bouncing and he's headed it. It's bounced and he's ducked down to head it back to the goalkeeper.
Been a solid centre-half performance.
It must be 50 plus headers today. Am I over-exaggerating there?
I don't think you are. What do you make of a centre-back in orange boots, though? Should that be allowed?
Well, he don't need to use his boots, does he?
Can wear what he likes. Ooh, ball given away in the centre of the park. It's Good once again, who's caused a bit of trouble. The Stevenage centre-back. But good pressure on so far as he looks to get his side moving. This time the ball hoisted into the air by Good, and Dan Phillips can pick it up. He switches play over to the left-hand side, and Roberts, the substitutes, just come on. Brings the ball down and lays it back to the Stevenage centre-back, Freeston, and then they get in the way of each other. The ball does find Harry Cornett, but he's under pressure from the orange-booted Murray Wallace, who wins himself a free kick. 22 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. Here is Wallace using those boots, finally using his feet, Darren. And playing it forward to Miller, the Huddersfield substitute. It's now Ballymunba who's drifting into the centre of the park on the edge of the centre circle inside his own half. Now Bulker aimed the ball towards Dion Charles, but that was straight to Houghton in the centre of the park for Stevenage, who win themselves a free kick, 0-0. Sweeney at the back for Stevenage in that centre-back position as they play it around the back. I'll tell you that the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live wherever you get your podcast. Dan Sweeney put under a bit of pressure there by Miller, but able to recover and launch the ball long once more, and then Miller gives away a free kick. But yeah, do check out How to Win the World Cup. Matt Ford and Tim Vine this week speak to the former US goalkeeper Brad Friedel about how the hosts are preparing ahead of the tournament this summer. Really good listen. And I tell you what, Matt Ford does a very good Donald Trump. If you've not heard it, worth it for that alone.
As good as Madge.
Oh, Madge is as good as well, to be fair. Stevenage win a throw deep inside the Huddersfield half. Charlie Good once again trotting over to take that one. These haven't really worked for them so far. But Good once again lining up, and he's actually barking at his centre-back teammate, Dan Sweeney, to get in the box. He says, come on, mate, you're one of the tallest players. I need you to maybe get your head on it. Will it pay off? Good lines up the throw. It's high and looping and headed clear. And Good then spoons one out to the left-hand side. And there's Roberts, who was on the volley. It was never going to trouble the keeper, and he was offside anyway.
I mean, you just said it yourself, that those long throw-ins are not causing trouble whatsoever. So why not change them up? Last 20 minutes, do something different. Get it short, feet and back. Put a delivery into the box with your feet, low and hard. You can't just keep doing the same thing when it's not working.
I think that'll be the frustration for both sets of supporters this afternoon, Darren. There's been no variation.
There's been nothing. The two substitutes, Roberts and Cornick, have come on. It's not changed whatsoever. There's still long, hopeful balls upfield that Murray Wallace is just heading clear.
Chance of blue and white army from the Huddersfield fans in the Austin stand here at the Lamex. Not much action in front of them from their side so far. Here's the substitute Miller, though, turning on the halfway line. Did well to get away from a couple of Stevenage shirts and then play it to Humphreys, who's in that deeper role since he came on for McGuane in the first half, and then
he looked like he was outside the box.
Well, Marshall looked like he might have been outside the box. It was a strange one. The goalkeeper came right to the edge of his 18-yard box on the left-hand side and then played the ball back to himself. I think he might have got away with that one, to be fair. Now, Miller coming forward for Huddersfield. Three bodies around him, and Freestone did really well there, actually, to stop Miller on his tracks right on the edge of the box. He had some support there with Dion Charles arriving, and had that challenge not been made, there might have been a chance to play Charles in. Here is Charles on the halfway line, finally getting the ball to feet. And he plays it to Sorensen, who's easily beaten to the ball by Early, the left wing back for Stevenage.
That's been a really good battle, those two, Sorensen and Early. We spoke about it briefly in the first half, and they're right in front of us, and we can see both physical, strong players, both want to get forward, but both doing their defensive duties as well. Been really impressed with the battle of those two.
Marshall pumps one along the Stevenage goalkeeper as once again the noise level rises from those Huddersfield fans, trying to give their side some encouragement as Humphreys plays one over the top. Well, you could see from here that Dion Charles was offside, and he tried to pull off a finish anyway, which ended up high over.
Well, what you've got now, Cameron Humphreys being on the pitch, Mikel Miller being on the pitch, and Mali Bumba, they're trying to actually play on the floor. And it's actually working. It's starting to create opportunities. Yes, the pass was just delayed a little bit, and Dion Charles was up front, offside, went up front there. But they're actually coming up with something different, I think, by themselves on the pitch.
And Darren, I mean, you're the ex-professional. You know way more than me, but you feel like that would be the right way to play against this kind of a back three where they're so physical and dominant in the air.
Yeah, of course. And look, when you're that big and strong and physical, what they do not want to happen is balls to be in and around their feet.
Now, Houghton loses out in the centre of the park to Kasumu. But referee says it was a fair challenge. Kasumu frustrated by that. It's on to Dan Phillips for Stevenage, who's being hustled and harried by Miller, who's made a good impact since coming on for Huddersfield. It's out for a throw to the home side. Now, following us here on Talksport 2, Manchester City take on Salford in the third round of the FA Cup with your teams. Here's Ian Danter.
9 changes for Manchester City today, but it still looks an incredibly strong lineup. Only Ait Nouri and Foden remain from last time out, but the likes of Marmoush, Cherki, Gonzalez and Elaine come into the starting lineup, and Reinders. As for Salford, 3 changes in their disappointing defeat to Accrington. Osterfield, Orr and Cooper come into the starting lineup, but they look pretty strong too here at the Etihad. Manchester City against Salford City.
Dan, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, that follows us here on Talksport 2. So much FA Cup action live on the Talksport network. Villa against Newcastle, 5:45 kickoff on Talksport 2. So make sure you tune in for all of that action. Liverpool-Brighton later on today, also on Talksport, 8 o'clock kickoff for that. Monday night, Macclesfield against Brentford. That should be a real occasion for Macclesfield. So we will have you covered on the Talksport network, which is also your home of the EFL. You join us for Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. 15 minutes to go. Closing stages here. Game of very few chances. 5th place Huddersfield will be searching for their 4th win in 5 under Liam Manning. They've not looked too likely so far.
I'll tell you what, Ollie, you can literally see a change with the Huddersfield and the way they're playing since the Huddersfield supporters behind the goal to our right has really lifted and they're singing. You can really see the intensity has been physically pushed into the Huddersfield players.
Well, having to warm themselves up, those Huddersfield fans. Chilly day here in Hertfordshire. A change for Stevenage then. A double change. Dan Sweeney coming off, and on comes Carl Piergiani in his place, and the other change sees Houghton leave the field. So a throw-in taken long for Stevenage, deep inside their own half, headed away by that substitute Piergiani. James Wildin then looking for Roberts, who hasn't had much to do since he's come on, and then sliced clearance from Nichols, despite the fact he hasn't had too much to do. Darren hasn't had the best afternoon, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think most things he's done, he's made errors, including that challenge on Reed in the box. As you said, he was lucky it landed on one of his defender's feet, otherwise he'd have given away a penalty.
Thompson, the man who came on, by the way, in the centre of the park for Stevenage, he replaced Houghton. But here come Huddersfield Town once again, surging down the left-hand side. Miller, who's been the liveliest of the substitutes for either side, plays it back inside to Kasumu. They're over on the left, Huddersfield, midway through the Stevenage half. Ball played towards the back stick and Sorensen, which is headed away by Early, and it will be an attacking throw for Huddersfield Town. Raises that noise level once again in the away end. Another change from Liam Manning, another 2. So Cameron Humphreys, who came on in the first half, all right, early on, but he has substituted a substitute there. And on in his place is Cameron Ashier. And Bobby Wales also coming on for Huddersfield Town. So 2 attacking changes there. And Dion Charles, the man who made way up front. So, can those substitutes make an impact for Liam Manning and Huddersfield Town? They've got 11 minutes of normal time remaining. Bobby Wales making his way onto the field. They've got an attacking throw here with Sorensen. He goes short to Ashier and then lifts one into the box. It comes out as far as Kasumu. And there's pressure put on him by Dan Phillips, but Kasumu tries to skip away down the left-hand side. He's got it now inside the box, goes to the byline, wins himself a corner, and that away and roars behind the goal. Stevenage nil, Huddersfield nil. Corner for the away side. It's the substitute Ashier who will take this. Bright youngster Ashier. And a big ironic cheer from the away end as the referee went to check if the ball was correctly in the quadrant. It was, Darren. So Ashier over this one, looks like it will be an in-swinger. Once again, plenty of Huddersfield bodies forward for this one, and there's some tussling going on inside the box. Dan Phillips has ended up on the floor. But
who's thrown him to the floor?
Brave man to throw him to the floor. But Kasumu looking frustrated as well. In a very physical battle all round this game. So Ashier stands with his hands raised and his red boots, awaiting to take this corner kick for Huddersfield Town. Their fans have had to be very patient this afternoon. Ashier swings one in and it's straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Bulker did go down there.
What a kick
for Huddersfield. As the ball's launched forward. It was a really decent kick there from Marshall, looking for the run of Cornick.
Just held up, didn't it? Just held up in the turf. Needed a bit of wet on it.
Come on, groundsman. 9 minutes to go then on Talksport 2. Here's Roberts for Stevenage. Advanced position on the left-hand side, battling with Bulker, who won the battle. And it will be a free kick for Stevenage.
I thought Bulker won that battle as well. Maybe give away a corner, but he's given a free kick down in the corner. I have to say, it's a real strange substitution, Cameron Humphreys one, in my opinion. I know he come on early doors, but he was just starting to dictate the play as well in the midfield, linking up with the substitute Miller. Just feel that's a little bit unfair unless he's picked up an injury. But he didn't look like he did he?
Looked very disappointed, yeah. I've got to say. It's always a bit of a shame for a footballer if you do come on early and then come off. Well, it might be a tactical one that potentially pays off, but we'll have to see. Kemp is on, by the way, for Stevenage. He's replaced Dan Phillips. Stevenage with this free kick in an attacking position over on the left-hand side. It is swung in, doesn't beat the first man. Not good enough from Harvey White. But they might get another chance to swing one into the box. Here is White, chalking his boots on the left-hand side, midway through the Huddersfield half. It's played back towards Early, who hits it first time, nodded to the edge of the box. Dan Kemp picks it up, but then has to go all the way back to Thompson, who plays it back to Kemp. That's a nice ball. Here's Thompson inside the box. It flashes across goal. And out for a throw. That was a chance there, but nothing doing. It was almost a cross-come shot, wasn't it?
It was, and we were a long way away it's a long way away, the goal from here, and from where I was sitting, I thought that was going to be nestling into the bottom corner. But as you said, it must have been a cross shot. It's gone through everyone and ended up for a throw-in.
So some late pressure from Stevenage here. 7 minutes to go. And the fresh legs that have come on for both sides seemingly making an impact. It's worth remembering at this time, isn't it, Darren, that, of course, Stevenage had their game postponed on Tuesday
Yep.
It was a much changed Huddersfield side, but they did still have to play Doncaster in the Virtue Trophy. That might come into play, but like I say, plenty of changes from that game for Huddersfield today. Here's Murray Wallace for them, inside his own box, plays it back to the goalkeeper, under a bit of pressure there. Oh, and that's not a good clearance from Nichols at all. Picked up by Kemp, who's shoved over by Miller, and once again it will be another Stevenage free kick in a decent position, left of goal, 30 yards out. Definitely a chance to cross this one, Darren.
Yeah, he's done well there, Kemp, because he's probably 5-6 yards behind where the ball's being placed now. But when the referee blew the whistle, he grabbed it, ran forward, put the ball down as if he's going to take a quick one, and he's kidded the referee, and he's gained 5 yards. Dangerous position.
6 minutes to go. Stevenage 0, Huddersfield 0. Harvey White stands over this one there, left of goal. And he's left-footed too. Try and swing this one into the box, which he does. It's a decent ball. There's a towering header, and it's into the back of the net. And Stevenage lead. Lovely ball in from White. And it's Piergiani with the header at the back post, rose above everyone and nodded it into the back of the net. And Stevenage 1, Huddersfield 0 with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, but he's come on, took the captain's armband, Piergiani, and he rose the highest. The one time someone's out-jumped Murray Wallace in the box. It's a good delivery as well. And there he is, getting there first. As we said, this could be won by a set play. This could be won in the last few minutes. And it certainly seems that way.
Stevenage so strong at home. And they could be heading towards a precious win. Who'd have thought that bringing on a centre-back would bring you a goal? But Piergiani, the club captain on the field, rising highest and heading home.
It's amazing. It's the one and only time Murray Wallace has been beaten in the air from Piergiani, from anyone on the pitch, and it's resulted in a goal.
Here's Cornick now for Stevenage, bringing it forward once again. Huddersfield need to respond, but they've got some defensive work to do first. A game of such few chances, and you're right, Darren. Sometimes a set piece is all you need. Here's Harry Cornick over by the corner flag for Stevenage. Oh, he's done really well. Crosses into the box, Bulker heads it away, and it's out as far as Harvey White on the volley. Tried to fizz that one back in. And now Early comes forward down the left for Stevenage and wins a throw. And it looks like they might be heading towards a victory over one of the big boys in League One.
Yeah, and Liam Manning shaking his head right down here in front of us. He said it's not really been a great performance from Huddersfield. Good defensive performance until that goal, but not really offered anything else go in the attacking sense. He looks really disappointed, Liam Manning.
Here's Early on the left, high in the Huddersfield half. Been them that have been the better side since scoring. Huddersfield just not quite at the races today. They've really struggled up top as Marshall pumps one down the field. There's an offside flag and Huddersfield look to get going quickly. They need to. 3 minutes to go in League One. Stevenage 1, Huddersfield 0. Live on Talksport 2. FA Cup action following us here. Manchester City against Salford City in the FA Cup fourth round. Forward come Huddersfield once again. Oh, and there's an effort from the halfway line. And you never mind one of those, do you? But that one drifts well wide from Cameron Ashia.
Yeah, Marshall was way off his line. I don't mind that at all. Just didn't connect, didn't get the right connection. Ended up going, didn't reach the goal and went wide. So, but yeah, it was a good idea.
Stevenage with just one win and 8 points from their last 11 league games. That goes back to mid-December. 21st in the form table. But they've shown why they are such a strong outfit at home so far. 2 minutes of normal time to go. And Piergiani and his header has them in front. They have the ball deep in Huddersfield territory, but it runs out of play for Roberts, and Murray Wallace can roll the ball to a teammate to take a throw. I think Huddersfield need to be more urgent.
Yeah, I do. You know what? It must baffle managers. It must be really frustrating if you're Alex Ravel, thinking, look at our home form and how good we are at home. Yes, a few too many draws. If we just picked up 1 or 2 more results, we'd been sitting in the playoff spot. Must be really frustrating as to why that happened.
Murray Wallace tries to play it forward, but once again too easy for those at the back, and it's Piergiani, the goal scorer, who gets it away. Now Cornick trying to make himself a nuisance for those Huddersfield defenders. The ball's rolled out though by the goalkeeper Nichols. Bulker plays it on to Sorensen, and then back from Ledson to Bulker. Huddersfield need to look forward. Liam Manning urging his players to do so. We're a minute away or so from finding out just how much stoppage time will be added on. Liam Manning heading for his first league defeat as Huddersfield manager, and it could be a damaging one for them in their chase for the playoffs. Here's Murray Wallace, the Huddersfield centre-back. Ball once again fired forward, but really difficult for any Huddersfield player to do something, but that's a mistake at the back, and Ashia has crept in and it's bounced just wide. There must have been a touch on that from the goalkeeper. It's out for a corner to Huddersfield. He was hot onto it. What a mistake that was from Good at the back for Stevenage. But it doesn't result in a goal, Darren Ambrose.
It certainly doesn't, and then perhaps it should have been. It's just come on, Ashia.
Corner for Huddersfield then. Elsewhere in League One, Reading 3, Wickham 2. In the FA Cup, over on Talksport, it's Burton 0, West Ham 0. They've gone to extra time in that game. The corner will be taken from the right-hand side with Miller. In swinging ball. Huddersfield looking for an equaliser. Headed away by Good once more. Pushing for an equaliser. Liam Manning's side. Sorensen has it at the back. He needs to play it into the box. 8 minutes added on. Set for a grandstand finish potentially if that Huddersfield pressure continues here at the Lamex. But at the moment, Stevenage holding firm. They lead 1-0 on Talksport 2. Here's Kemp for Stevenage on the halfway line. And they're doing well here, you feel, Stevenage, to just soak up some of that Huddersfield pressure and get themselves up the other end of the pitch. But Huddersfield now have it once more as Louis Thompson does really well in the centre of the park for Stevenage to intercept the ball and play it back to his goalkeeper. Now Wallace for Huddersfield. Time ticking down for them. They trail in this game as we enter the second minute of 8 added on. Ball forward this time looking for Roberts, but Walker able to deal with that one at the back. Some frustrated Huddersfield players out there as Walker picks it up once more with his head, and then Ledson tries to help it on. Headed away once again at the back, this time by Piergiani. Murray Wallace now onto Mumba, who's been really quiet. Ashia, the substitute, winning a throw for Huddersfield. They're just inside the Stevenage half. There's some folded arms and frustrated faces in that away end, aren't there, Darren Ambrose?
Yeah, there certainly is, and we haven't really had a moment to breathe these last couple of minutes. And I was going to mention the mistake from Good. I think it was actually Good that managed to get back and tow it over his own crossbar, and that was a goal-saving challenge. So he rectified his own mistake by getting back and clearing it himself.
Stevenage 1, Huddersfield 0. We've got just over 5 minutes to go here at the Lamex into added time. There were 8 minutes added. All the way back to the goalkeeper for Huddersfield. The pressure too strong from Stevenage, and then that is a thumping header away from Early, who has dealt with the threat of Sorensen really well as the left wing back for Stevenage this afternoon. Edging towards 3 points, not done yet though, as Early and his clearance ends up finding Ballymumba down the left hand side. Plenty of Huddersfield bodies forward, and James Wilde in the right wing back does well to deal with Mumba, but it is out for another Huddersfield corner.
Yeah, good battle down there as well. James Wilding, Balimumba. He's going to play it quickly there, Asher. Good job he didn't. All the big lads coming up front.
Can the Terriers find a late equaliser here? It is Ashia who will swing this one in. It's headed away. Didn't find a Huddersfield head. And then Harry Cornick can just try and bring this one away for the home side. Does really well. So many Huddersfield bodies around him, but managed to control the ball, hold it up, and then it's all the way back with the Huddersfield goalkeeper and just lets that clock tick down, Darren.
Yeah, he does really, really well. Exactly what you want when you're under the cosh, which they are a little bit last few minutes. Just to take some pressure off your team, keep hold of it for a few minutes, and there's a bad error, bad clearance there. I think it was Feeney from Huddersfield. When you just want him to put it up, recycle play, you just put one straight out of field for a Stevenage throw-in.
Not been Huddersfield's day. We have 4.5 minutes to go though, and Stevenage taking as much time as possible to take this throw. It's inside their own half on the left hand side. Early drying the ball with his shirt, ready to launch it long, taking as long as he possibly can, and why not? His side lead here on Talksport 2 in League One, as this time it's Ledson who tries to get his boot to the ball. It loops up into the air, and then Harry Cornick tries to come away with it. He had Roberts for company as well, his teammate, but Kasumu does well and wins Huddersfield a free kick, and they need to get bodies forward. Heading into the final 3 minutes. Over on Talksport in the FA Cup, West Ham have taken the lead in extra time against Burton. So 6 minutes gone in extra time in that game, and the Premier League side are in front. That game live on Talksport. As Huddersfield, well, from that resulting free kick, Darren, the keeper has come up to try and pump one into the box, look for a Huddersfield head. It's gone all the way through.
It's so poor. Such frustration on Liam Manning's face. Again, shaking his head. Just put a bit of pressure on, put it in the box. Just drifted it straight into Marshall's hands.
Well, up next for Huddersfield, Doncaster away, Barnsley at home, Wigan away, some tough games as they look to consolidate that playoff position. And well, they thought they maybe had won a throw there, but it has gone down as a Stevenage throw, which they will take an age to take. And the goalkeeper trotting over to pick up the ball. Been a decent performance, hasn't it, Darren, from Stevenage? They've made life difficult. They've limited Huddersfield throughout this afternoon. They managed to get themselves in front, and they are on the verge of getting yet another home win. It will be their 7th of the season.
Yeah, it's been a real good performance, strong, solid performance, and we've just heard over the tannoy. Pergiani with the man of the match today. Came on in the 77th minute, I think, and got man of the match.
Got the all-important goal. Sometimes that can be enough to get you that accolade. Yep. We're heading towards the final minute of this game. This would take Stevenage up to 9th and just 4 points off the playoffs. Brilliant start to this season from Stevenage, but it's tailed off a bit. This could be a very important win for them. Huddersfield still struggling to get the ball up the other end of the field. In fact, could be a chance for Stevenage. Harry Cornick was the man trying to get onto it on the edge of the Huddersfield area. Ball played long this time by Ledson, but easy for Good to head away for Stevenage. No real pressure here from Stevenage. Frustration for Liam Manning, who stands with hands in pockets on the touchline. Now Roberts for Stevenage tries to take it away and wins the throw over on the far side, and we must be close to the full-time whistle here at the Lamex. It keeps Huddersfield this on 49 points, level with Bradford in 6th. As the ball is spooned over the top, it's looking like Stevenage would be the more likely to score. Is there one more chance for Huddersfield? Forward they come once more. Here's Ashia. drifting into the centre of the park. That's a great challenge from Thompson, the Stevenage substitute, who then wins himself a free kick. And surely, Darren Ambrose, that's full time.
Yeah, that'll be it. I think we're over the 8 minutes that was given. And, you can hear the last 15 minutes. All you heard was the Huddersfield supporters, but you can now certainly hear the home support here at the Lamex.
Some of those Huddersfield fans drifting out now of the Lamex, and the home support making all the noise here. They've had a lot to cheer about at the Lamex this season, but this will go down as a very big win against a Huddersfield side, a big club in League One, as the ball trickles over the halfway line. We do play on. We've had more than the 8 minutes of added time. In fact, we're a minute over it. Here's Sorensen on the right, but that's well cleared once again by Saxon Early. And he's arms outstretched, asking the referee, Neil Hare, when are you going to blow the full-time whistle? Huddersfield still have it, and there it is. A huge win for Stevenage, and their home comforts continue. The centre-back Good with a huge celebration right at the end. It's Carl Piergiani who won the game for him with a towering header late on in this game with just 5 minutes to go. And Stevenage and their sturdy home form continues. It's just a fourth win in 20, but it brings them within 4 points of the playoffs as it stands. A damaging defeat for Huddersfield, a first league defeat for Liam Manning. They do remain in the playoff places, but they have lost here today. It's finished at the Lamex. Stevenage 1, Huddersfield 0.
Thank you, Ollie. Before the game, we were talking about how important a win would be for Stevenage at home to try to reignite their playoff ambitions. They've only gone and done it. And during the game, Darren Ambrose, one of my most enjoyable parts of your co-coms was you lambasting the long balls, route one, but in the end, it took the big Carl Piergiani, club captain, to just get on the end of one of those. It was a free kick this time and get the win. I mean, great for Stevenage.
You know what, it just seemed that was going to be the case. The one and only time Murray Wallace lost a challenge in the air was when the club captain comes on, Piergiani, good delivery into the box from a set play. He out-jumped him for the first time in 90 minutes and he headed it into the corner. And look, this run continues. Now that's 2 wins in the last 6, 4 draws. Look, we said, didn't we, if they could just change a few of those draws to victories, they'd be sat in the playoff positions now. But they can certainly look forward now to the run-in and whether they can get more results like this to push them into the top 6. There's a lot of frustrated figures out here in the Huddersfield end. No more than Liam Manning walking off. But I have to say, thoroughly deserved the win there, Stevenage.
Darren, in terms of Huddersfield, it seemed to me that there was only a real sense of urgency when they went 1-0 down. And for the travelling fans who've come a long way, that must be really frustrating.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you'd have seen it. We heard it here. The travelling supporters, the last 20 minutes, really tried to instill some intensity into the players, and it got a reaction. I thought the substitution of Cameron Humphreys was a strange one. I thought he was just starting to dictate the play, along with Miller, who'd just come on, and Ballymumba down the left-hand side. They were starting to create some opportunities. He took him off, and then, as you said, once the goal went in, they huffed and puffed towards the very end, without really creating too many opportunities. I think Good done a goal-saving challenge from his own mistake just to toe punt it over the bar, and I think that was probably the best of the chances for Huddersfield.
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, it was fine margins. Carl Piergiani, Stevenage club captain, with the goal to take Stevenage just 4 points off the playoffs. It's Liam Manning's first league defeat as Huddersfield manager, but as it stands, they stay in those playoff places. Ollie, Darren, thank you so much, boys. Brilliant work this afternoon as always. Safe journey. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks very much.